Welcome to the first episode of my DevRel strategy series. So earlier this year, I had a chat, right, with myself, and I was like, if I was starting DevRel again, what are some of the questions that I'd like people to answer or help me out to navigate this part? And then I remembered I have a lot of amazing people in my network that can answer some of those questions, and so that brought me to have this session. And today, I'm actually here because this topic is one that a lot of persons have been asking questions on. So whether you have been doing DevRel for years or you're just starting your developer marketing, I think you're going to walk away with a lot of things from these conversations today. And we all know that AI is rapidly changing how developers build softwares, right? And also transforming how developers find these tools and even learn about new technologies. So today I have put together some of the brilliant minds in my network who will be answering some of these questions. But I'd like them to go ahead and introduce themselves before we get into it. Divine, would like to go ahead.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity, Anita. And great starting this stuff. It's not easy to start anything, right? And to share knowledge, right? So, about me, my name is Divine Odazie. I'm the founder of Everything DevOps, and I have my background in backend engineering, DevOps, right? Cloud native, and DevRel, right? And I'm excited to be part of this conversation because DevRel, developer marketing, and I think the whole world has changed with AI, right? So yeah, excited to share my 2 cents and also gain some 2 cents too, right, from other experts that are here too, and from you too, Anita. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
So it's great to have you here. Although he's trying to be humble, but it's okay. And we also have Amarachi. Would you like to go next?
Yeah, I mean, I'm the only one remaining. But yeah, yes. Hello, my name is Amarachi Iheanacho. I am a documentation writer at Sidero Labs. And yeah, I have like an experience in DevRel in the DevOps space, and I'm really excited to be here. I think learning how AI is changing the space that you are earning money from is very important so you don't get displaced. So I'm here to learn and contribute whatever knowledge I have to the discussion. So yeah, I'm excited. Let's go.
Yeah. Thank you for having us. So we have one more speaker, but it seems they're having network issues. So when they join in, they do their introduction. But yeah, back to what Amarachi said. We don't want AI to take our jobs. So that's why we're having these conversations today. And we all know that there's old
Yeah.
playbook, right? Of like the developer journey that we're all familiar with, where developers find projects either through documentation or at conferences or on GitHub or through some random ad, right? But today we're seeing that developers are finding tools from Copilot prompts, GPT suggestions, and so many other places that links pop up now about developer tools. And this is like affecting so many areas, I'm sure of, right? And so, um, thank you for joining, Henry.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Yeah, well, we're just going over the question of how um AI is influencing developer marketing today. But before we dive in, I'd like you to just do a quick intro so that we can jump into the question.
All right, quick one. I think since I've already wasted enough time due to network, I'm Henry Bassey and a DevRel marketer, as you all know. I mostly work in content strategy and other GTM strategy. So I'm currently with HackMamba, heading their GTM strategy for multiple clients since we are an agency. So I've been able to work with a lot of clients, cutting from startups to enterprise to yeah, but mostly within dev tools. So yeah, I think I've been in this industry for close to 6 years now, and it's been a whole lot of learning experiences, especially when you're interacting with companies building in different niches. You're always learning and up upgrading. So yeah, it's a challenging industry, but it's also very fun. Yeah, thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yes, this man is already leading the way. I'd like to ask, you have worked closely with like developers over the years, right? So from your perspective, how would you say AI has changed or is changing the way developers discover tools and technologies today?
Okay, so I think we all know the way we search has already changed because before then it used to be you when you have a problem or if you want to get to know something, you just enter Google, search, and then you spend time going through different blogs after blogs, and then you're doing manual synthesis. But right now, AI has taken over that. So once you might not even need to get to Google. You can use your chat GPT and then AI will do all the synthesis for you. And in fact, if you want to also evaluate tools, you don't need to do it yourself. AI will handle it for you. And then AI has also taken over coding, making decisions like tools to integrate and all of that. Then the advantage is that it has actually changed the level playing field for everyone. So we in content, when you might if you have a low domain authority and then you write content, you are trying to compete with those with domain authority of over 90, 80 is quite impossible. But right now, because you are providing more value, even better value than those guys that have been there for ages and their domain authority is quite high, you have the opportunity of being solvers in AI generated answers because maybe your content actually meets the user intent. So so that's the advantage. But also the disadvantage is that these AI tools are non-deterministic, which means it's not predictable and you don't know what to track. So that's what the advantage. And when people say you need to do this, the things that we actually don't know was sorry, like there's a background noise somewhere. Is it from me?
Maybe, maybe, is it me? Is it like a notification noise?
No, like kind
Yeah,
of
there's
blaring noise. Okay, yeah, it's much better now. So as I was saying, you don't know what to track, and a lot of people are suggesting so many things. But for me, all I know is that what I always advise people is that understand your audience very well because you can take this little experiment. When you log into ChatGPT, the answer you get from from um from ChatGPT when you're logged in will be quite different from when you're logged out. I've tried these experiments time over time. So that means since ChatGPT is using the person's data to provide the answer, so that way, if you understand your audience, you'll be able to customize, tailor the kind of content you create, and you also resonate with them, and that way you have the chance of also being solvers and in these AI tools. Yeah.
Point that you made, right, about the advantage that AI is bringing. And Divine, I know that visibility is now the new AI layer based on like Henry's response. So like everybody is now trying to get visibility from this angle, from this area where developers are now running to, right? But like, how do you think developer marketing teams should be thinking about this in general? Is this a new strategy that people should bank on? Because like he mentioned, we still have the issue of observability when it comes to AI tools.
Okay. Sorry, I was talking on mute. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with everything Henry says, right? Like you see, he's the organ, he's the boss, the GTM expert. But yeah, I totally agree with what you say. Differences in when like you're logged in with your personal data and like or when you're just searching around when you're not nothing and all. So AI has changed how we do developer marketing. Like we can see it from different aspects, from like, and I think the most painful aspect is from the layoffs. and
Mhm.
and the canceling of contracts that clients are doing. I can relate. I saw Williams post and I was like, this is not only me. Oh yeah, right. So the thing, right? Yes, I agree with that, and also, well, I think I'm seeing, right, also in my space, I'm seeing more like people moving towards influencer marketing. So influencer marketing, but on quote, well, I would say more uh influencer marketing, but in this case, like engineers, right, are the influencers. So trying to tap into the audience of experts in each field, right? Let's say you're building a product for cloud native, right? You want to do like this, you want to reach developers and stuff like that. You're doing all the GEO, you're doing the SEO and all. But most people, instead of spending money on ads, right? Instead of spending money on other things, right? Or and also reducing on their normal SEO budget and trying to work with engineers that are active in the community that have audience to create content for them, right? To create posts and to promote their product in a natural way. Engineers that use their product. So that is one that I'm seeing big organizations trying to doing in order to like be more authentic, right? From an authenticity perspective, also to get more value for money. Because when you hear something from somebody you trust, right? For example, if I say something that like I swear by, right, and people trust me that, oh, this guy knows what he's saying, they will easily buy into a tool or try out a tool than just blowing money on Google ads or blowing money on let me use the better word, spending money on Google ads or LinkedIn ads, right? And also, yeah.
Yeah, just to add something completely random. But but yeah, I totally agree with Divine and whatnot. I think that if I like a tool or if I heard like I've heard of it, so I'm not going to be like, okay, let me go follow the tool on LinkedIn or the tools company on LinkedIn or anything. I probably am following like a DevRel person that I truly trust or whatnot. And I think that brand, like personal brand, could be a really important distribution like strategy, like going forward. That's what I think. And also, I had like a random discussion with somebody, with the head of DevRel who used to work at a really big company, and he said that they sort of dropped all the YouTube effort they had at their team because they could leverage like their captains and their ambassadors to create more content that people trust. They could leverage audiences of people that had built trust for over 4 years or 5 years and whatnot. And that helped their content get out faster than creating content on than the company creating content on their YouTube or whatnot, if that made any sense. But yeah, I totally agree. Like personal brand as a distribution channel could be important coming soon.
Yeah, I could also chip in. I could also chip in. I think we usually overlook the importance of partnership. Right now, partnership is very critical. Most of the most of the contracts we've won these days, they're mostly from referral from the partners we're working with. So that has really, instead of going through all those traffic of trying to try a lot of things, maybe launching ads, writing content, SEO, when you have a partner that you guys have that symbiotic relationship, you refer them, they refer you. You see, the business will move faster because in marketing, word of mouth moves mountain more than any other strategy. When someone can vouch for you that okay, these guys are good, just go with them. It is finished. You don't need to go through all those interview processes. Okay, send me samples, do this, do that. It is finished. They just trust you because you are coming from a person they trusted. I think the same thing Divine said. So partnership also works.
Yeah, so developer marketing and developer relations. That's a good question. And like if you see some companies, they want a developer relations person to do sales. I know I've been there, right? So some companies want the developer marketing person to do developer relations. To even do solution architect self. So on one side, let me try to give my answer in two spectrum. On one side, like they are your employer. You do what they want you to do. The title is irrelevant, right? On the other side, right, the employer obviously need to understand what they want and let it be streamlined and get the best person for what they want. So in job these days, right, or like naming these days, right, the way we are seeing it, most jobs don't literally carry the exact name of what you don't really do the exact name of what it is. Especially if you're in newer companies, you end up being moved or you morph into something to the need. But on its own, I would say developer marketing and developer relations. Developer marketing obviously is more aligned to sales, right? More aligned to sales. Like the marketing is there is to create like a pipeline for people to come into to buy the product and to buy the tool. So now developer relations, let's use from the name relations. It's more of a relationship based stuff, right? And it's more of a long term like investment in the sense of like you're building your you're building relationships, whether virtually or in person through conferences and stuff, with your target market, your ICP. ICP meaning ICP meaning ideal customer profile. You're building those relationships that so and to learn more from them about their requirements, right? To better the product, but also to educate them more about your tool that you're building. So whenever they are ready to buy, you'll be the first person that comes to mind. So there's a lot of alignments, right? But I would say developer marketing should be more like aligned with sales and pipeline and all those kind of metrics, right? It's more easier to quantify developer marketing than developer relations, right? But all the grand goal is bottom line. Yeah.
Yeah, like I agree. No, no, yes, yes, from Henry. Now, I wanted to say that I agree that I feel like developer marketing is more quantitative and developer relations is more like qualitative, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. So I'm actually from the developer marketing side, so I understand my niche very well. So, but from what I've seen from the DevRel people I've interacted with, so I usually see them as brothers in arms, I mean sisters in arms, if you may. So, DevRel for me is about like to define rightly said, it's about building relationships. So they're like and their approach is quite different. So they're like, okay, I'm a developer, you're a developer too, so we are just interacting developers to developers. So unlike us that our approach is quite different. We want to build the pipeline, we want to drive adoption, and we have objectives. So while in terms of orientation, uh DevRel is kind of developer first, while develop marketing is kind of company first because we have company objectives to fulfill, and then each month we have quarterly goals. Then in terms of output, you see DevRel in events, in conferences, in they're building sample code, they're building docs. About marketing, we start from the DGM strategy. We build the messaging that will run through the entire campaign. We we deal with the positioning of the product or the company, and we deal with content, case studies, and all of those assets that will help us drive pipeline and adoption. Then, like Define rightly said, DevRel is more of a long-term game because you are not trying to convert people um, and quickly. That would send a serious red flag. So just leave that one to us, and that's where the dev marketing guys come in. But at the end of the day, we need to work together because while we are dev marketing, we tilt more towards the marketing side, and we need people that are quite technical, more technical than us, that can build a sample code and answer the questions that our technical audience would need. Otherwise, everything will be in shambles. All right.
Yeah, I think that DevRel, like Henry says, that DevRel and developer marketing, they work hand in hand. I would say a chunk of developer marketing is like the figurative top of the funnel kind of thing, where you're trying to increase awareness, increase adoption and whatnot. And I would think of like developer relations as figurative bottom of the funnel. Now I recognize that, of course, as developer marketers, you create bottom of the funnel content and whatever content, but like when you do get those customers, or when you're trying to get those customers, trying to build a relationship with them, trying to like go to conferences, try to communicate with those developers, trying to relate to the company, what do the developers want? Like, for example, when you're at the conferences, when you're going for the talks, when you're in the community, being sort of like the voice of the people for the company. And yeah, like having this two-way street, you are that person that would be that two-way street. I would I would be honest, especially with these recent layoffs, like companies have been consolidating this role a lot more. And so as a DevRel person, you're probably these days you're going to be asked to understand like a little bit of marketing. But I think if we're supposed to split those roles into two, I think that this would be the differing characteristics in my head, in my mind, for me, if that makes sense. I need to stop saying if that makes sense. Yeah, exactly, exactly.
So I something just came to my mind. I say time will tell, right? Time will tell is one. It's not helping us, those that are in the business, content business. It's not really helping us at all, right? But for companies feel like it helped them, right? But when I say time will tell, is because I've seen situations where the company creates content with AI, and then they get that boost in traffic because when you're publishing, let's say every day or this thing or Google this thing, but the quality it drops because of the quality is like poor and all right. So yeah, these agents and these models have gotten better and all right. But right, for me, coming from like a very new space, cloud native and all, like you can't it's so hard or difficult to create like evergreen content, like quality content with AI at this point, right? And so yes, it's possible, but you will sacrifice for some quality and all. Then for the trust perspective, if now me as a developer, we are trying to figure something out, then like I'm reading a blog or using a blog to help me, then I start feeling that this thing is AI generated. Is how I will look at it, right? Is how I will look at it, especially if it's a new tool I'm exploring and stuff like that. So on the other hand, if like there are certain aspects that this would help you move faster from like a docs aspect, even creating content aspect, in the aspect of like updating. And let's say you have a blog and you want to update it to the latest version and stuff like that, right? If you can delegate an agent to update some certain things and all. So there are different ways to look at it. I would say each to their own, right? Whatever they see in the long term, because me, I'm angry. I'm angry. Because I'm fighting with AI from a business perspective, but it's a reality we all have to accept. So anything an organization sees in the long term and all, they can like make better decisions and all. So, but AI should be in everybody's workflow. I think we have all accepted that now. Right? It all depends on what are you building. You're building another angle. You're building something that is quite like new. I wouldn't say new, but it's quite like it requires like expertise. Let's say, for example, in the cloud native space and all, there are a lot of things that is no existing documentation or there is no existing like information to train the AI on, right? So maybe when you can use humans to create the content, then you cannot train AI later. They're exactly humans and change them away, no problem. Anyone you want to do. But yeah, I don't know if this like gives a weird answer right to your question or something.
Okay, so yeah, I'm mostly the same situation with Divine because we are working in the same industry. Uh, I think I don't know if you've read that post William made. We finished creating the foundation, the structure of the documentation, and this client just copied everything, pasted on Claude, and generated the whole documentation, and that's how we lost business. So it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy, the very crazy period. But we also be crazy not to accept the reality that AI is here to stay. Yeah. So people are using it and we have to use it. But one thing I know is that the way we use AI is actually based on how you value your audience and how you value your brand. Because we have a lot of content everywhere, different types and formats of content. But what actually distinguish human written content from AI generated content is the story we tell, is the experience we share, and and is the opinion that cannot be found in AI generated content. And those are the things that makes people, your audience, keep coming back to your content, and those are the things that trickle down to your brand. So, and of course, stories are the asset that connects human beings. Without that connection, everything is shallow. That's why we always say that AI content doesn't have that soul because it's just there. AI doesn't have that experience. So for you to if you are someone that maybe you're managing a company, you need to have tests, right? You need to have tests because when you have tests, you say, oh, when you read through AI generated content, you'll be like, nah, this is not the kind of content we want to push. And we need human written content. We need content that tell stories. We need content that shows that experience. We need content that shows your frustration where you're trying to install this tool and how you be able to resolve it. So, and I think the nearest future, um, human written content will be premium because in a situation where everyone can generate in the in a situation where everyone can generate content, is that experience and opinion that actually pull people to what you create. Yeah.
Yeah, AI has changed a lot of things. AI has changed how people search for information. AI has changed, AI has increasingly reduced people's attention span. So we have to think of like we have to first of all, I feel like you have to try to understand a little bit about how LLMs pick up information and whatnot, right? Because I like we if you do a lot of reading, you see like LLMs don't just take the whole entire pages, they take like small chunks of your documentation. So that will change a lot of how you write the documentation and a lot of what you do. For example, where I work, for starters, you have like a doc assistant in your documentation. We had doc assistants, and it's like one of the most expensive tools that we use as an organization because a lot of like the questions that people are asking are like token based and tokens are like based, they have a token based pricing. And we realized that it's not like there's no documentation, like we follow the entire step guide, like there's like very clear headings, there's like a stepwise approach, but people just don't want to.
Can you all hear me? Or is it my internet? Is
I
it my
think maybe
internet
it's
or
from
is
Anita.
I was saying that if you people need another AI assistant, me, I can be at the back. If they're asking questions, I can drop it beside you. So I can become your biggest friend. Then,
Like drama.
it will find you. Hablo español. Which language you want again? I can speak all of them.
I remember once. I remember one client we had back then, they were into translation too. So they translate in different languages. I see that our technical writers were writing Arabic. I'm like, damn, where did these guys learn all these things? So, yeah, So permit me to pass that question to Amarachi. I'm not primarily on the documentation side. I'm the content guy, so she knows better than me. So Amarachi, please take over. Okay, so if I were to chime in from the point of view of content, so I always say if you're a smart person, AI will make you smarter. Because there are before AI, I used to spend a lot of time running competitive research, running SEO research, and a whole lot of things just to get the information that I'll be able to create my GTM strategy. But right now, I can just connect my MCP, maybe href MCP to my ChatGPT or Claude, and it will run the SEO research automatically for me. And and I can just gather all the information I have from the company, the products, competitors, keywords, and dump it um, in any ChatGPT, whether ChatGPT or any AI tool, and it will analyze and give me information and insight I would have missed if I did not use AI. And also, I think the best thing for me is the I use AI to find angles and greenfield opportunities to explore in content, and this has helped me a lot to achieve faster results in ranking the content I we create, and also surfacing in AI citations, like the one I did for one of the clients within just 7 days, because we I was able to find some angles that were not available in other articles. And with that, AI was able to cite it because it used that knowledge, a chunk of that knowledge, to fill up the gap in results that were already there. So we're able to get faster ranking and faster citation. And then in terms of content reviews, so I was able to I actually um wrote down all the processes I use in reviewing content, then created a Claude skills from there. I pushed to GitHub. Then when I did that, I now integrated with my Claude. So when I'm reviewing content, the Claude will go through the skills that I've embedded and then use the framework to now review my articles, and it has enabled me to catch all those errors, whether technical or storytelling or structural errors that I, I might have missed if I was doing this manually. And I think another advantage for we marketers is creating prototype faster, because before then you usually have you can write copies and then you spend time describing to the designer, okay, this is how it should be, this is how the design should be, this is how. But right now, once I finish creating maybe copy for a landing page, I can just use Claude to generate the prototype to show the designer, okay, this is how I envision the flow of the copy to be. So you can use that to improvise, add the branding and whatever you want to add. And so that's it. It has really helped us a lot. Oh, is it my network or is it Anita's?
Yeah, I think
Okay, I think it's much better now.
see DevRel tools leveraging AI to do DevRel. So aside from like okay, scaling your content effort from like what Amarachi stated from the documentation effort and stuff like that. Okay, using it to create content in web content and all, like obviously with the human in the loop, or totally if you choose to, anything you see, you take. I think from an operational standpoint, can also be to learn more about like the user, right? Because one thing I've come to, I use AI a lot these days. Right? I think we've all mentioned this is to understand. Like I use AI a lot to understand my calls. I use Fireflies. There's no call I join that Fireflies doesn't call with me, right? Conversations that I have, right, and all, and like when you have a lot of data, right, from having conversations, whether it be meetings, calls, and all, and you when you can crunch all these together, it can help decision making. It can also help in the content you create, right? So you can create a chat GPT or a GPT or like your MCP and all the fancy stuff that Henry talked about, right? You can use it to like I keep track of like conversations and turn it to help in your decision making. So that is one. Another aspect that I would say is for example, as someone that gives a lot of talks to slide presentations and all and that. So there are so many AI tools that I can put together to even create like the visual aspect of the slides and all. So you can use it, right, and bring things together to make the ad hoc, the every work that is most stressful. For example, creating slides, you have what you want to talk about in your head, but to bring it out can be very, very difficult and stressful. To make those like stressful stuff to be faster, right? So that is how like I see using it. Then and then pray that you don't replace yourself by using AI. You know, I was watching a TV series and the guy designed a model. And I said that the model was too good that they have to fire him from the top. That the model can do his work. So please don't do the one now that you replace yourself. Hide some things so they will not know, so they cannot replace you. But yeah,
Like, before you're right. So after I finished creating the skills and pushing to GitHub and then testing on the content reviews, it was so good that I'm not ever going to make it public. No one will see that. In fact, I'm going to hide it on my GitHub page. Because if
Okay.
no,
So they watch
I'm not gonna risk that.
put in your repository so I can steal it. Yeah. Alright, it's so sad. Is it just me? I think it's not me.
Yeah, I think it's a network.
And
This has been rapid. I have one. What is one thing
for me, maybe I can go first. For me, I would say, like, I would say invest more in yourself, right? In having like building your own audience. Right? If you don't already have like a large audience, right, I would say invest more on that because like it's crazy, right? We are seeing all the layoffs and all. And we all know historically, even before now, the people that get the job cut first are like the developer marketing and these team people and like DevRel people that get the layoffs first. So invest a lot in your own like audience, whether YouTube, LinkedIn, and all, right? Because aside from that helping you in the market for your next role, it also gives you the ability to like make money on your own. And also, if you want to launch something in the future, right? I know, I think you have that audience, well. So that's like helps you any other decision, you make, right? And why I'm saying that, because that's what like helping me, right? Like doing building a business and also doing several other things, right? Tomorrow I might wake up and say I want to try one weird idea, right? And I have the audience to like test out the idea and move faster with, right, and stuff. So that would be my advice, right, from personal experience. And yeah. Call names, oh, call names, call names. Oh. No, nah, audience, I'm joking. Oh.
Damn, this my two guys that bamboozled me. Or yeah, also,
You're muted, oh, sorry.
or it's my internet. Can you hear me now? Can you?
Yes.
Okay. So I was saying, this my bosses that bamboozle me. They are the top of they are at the top of their game in terms of audience building. I'm just trying to learn from them. So don't worry. Maybe by next year I'll get to that point. But for now, so for me, I would just want to add that you should build systems, build structures, build frameworks. Um, because at this point where we have AI is very critical. We always think that marketing is a creative field where you need to try new things all the time. But but once you have systems, it's easier for you to to see what's working and then swap in and swap out. It helps you move faster instead of reinventing the wheel all the time. And then once you have these systems in place, you be able to gain speed through recognition.
Mm, with your head. Maybe the sound. Oh, Lord. So let me do my shameless plug, bro. Did you people see what I sent in the chat? So if you are, I'm in the business. one of my, will I say, one of the people that, one of my testimonials is here, right? Amarachi went from how many thousand to 8,000 in how many months? So testimonial, let's say, get me blow my trumpet. If you want to build your audience as an engineer, you can work with me. Going, gone. 3 days left. I'm actually launching something, right? Or I've launched. So, and quite a few people have joined. So I just have space for, I think, 3 more, right? So if you're interested in working with me to learn about everything that has to do with LinkedIn, technical writing, and also conferences, right? Yeah, so check out the link that I sent in the chat. I've showed you way, Deborah. I've showed you way. The way is there. Click on that link to follow the way. Well, yeah, right. So exactly, the way is there already. So I think I have a meeting now. I want to drop off. Yeah, Anita. This is what let me follow the ladder.
Also, bye, 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 bye.